Right now, the Fair Work Commission is reviewing the minimum wage, which impacts the wages of almost 3 million workers. Unions are arguing for a 5% pay increase. That means you'll also hear from big business and commentators in the media the same tired, disproven spin that the minimum wage shouldn't be increased. In this video, I'm going to bust 5 of the most common myths from big business lobby about the minimum wage increases. Number 1, raising the minimum wage will cost jobs. When you increase the minimum wage, a few things happen. Low-paid workers have more money to spend. Minimum award workers spend the majority of their income in their local communities with local businesses on things like groceries, rent, fuel and childcare. They spend all they earn. When low-paid workers spend in their local economy, the spending helps create more jobs. In Australia and around the world, there is no evidence that raising the minimum wage costs jobs. The Nobel Prize in Economics was awarded to these guys last year who proved exactly this. Number 2, employers can't afford it. In 2021, profits went up 13% and productivity across the economy also increased by 1%. Despite the pandemic, the economy grew by 4.2%. Profits went up, executives still got their bonuses, but workers' wages didn't increase. Wages are actually at the lowest as a proportion of Australia's national income since records began. Meanwhile, all of the economic indicators for businesses' health, like business survival rates and bankruptcy rates, say they're in the best position they've been in for a decade. What's more, the tax office revealed that a third of big business like Qantas, News Corp and oil giant Chevron don't pay a single cent of tax. So employers can definitely afford to pay an increase in the minimum wage. 3, pay increases will wreck the economy. Isn't it convenient that no matter how the economy is performing, some business leaders and politicians always say that workers can't have a pay rise? Rain, hail or shine, they always say workers shouldn't get a pay rise. Isn't it convenient that we never hear the same arguments for executive bonuses or massive profits for big business? When the economy is performing well, it's because workers are more productive and deserve a greater share of the wealth they create. And guess what? That's the situation at the moment. Wage increases help stimulate the economy, so in bad economic times, a minimum wage increase can help boost the economy and create jobs. Number 4, increasing minimum wages will increase inflation. Inflation is another boogeyman that big business lobby tries to use to scare people into not supporting pay rises. Inflation in the past year has been driven by supply chain pressures, corporate price gouging, relentless rental increases, and volatility in global markets for goods and for oil and gas. Denying low-paid workers a fair increase will do nothing to address these issues. Wage increases that meet inflation and productivity growth do not add to inflationary pressures. And don't take my word for it, that's what the head of Treasury and the head of Reserve Bank have said. Australia has a high minimum wage. Australia's minimum wage used to be the best in the world. When unions created the minimum wage, it was called a living wage, which means it was set at a rate that allowed a worker to support a family. But since 2002, other countries have increased their minimum wage, where ours has slipped backwards. We're now ranked just number 12 in the developed world. And our minimum wage is now $127 a week below the poverty line. So if big business say Australians are too well paid, they're talking about themselves, about their executive bonuses. When big business and politicians say our minimum wage is the highest in the world, they choose to ignore the fact that Australia has some of the highest cost of living in the world, highest corporate profits in the world, and some of the highest workers' productivity in the world. In fact, although we're one of the richest countries in the world, over the past 8 or 9 years, household poverty has worsened significantly and the number of people who work full-time and live in poverty is now at record highs. So if you hear any one of these 5 lies, don't believe them because they're not true.